So we gotta come up with something better with how we integrate the second Sunday flyer of the after party in with the regular party. Because doing two events is stupid. Event pages, I think.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it don't make sense, but we need to. I don't know what we do about that yet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I hope so.
There it is. How let me turn this in.
There we go.
Like an amateur hour. Listen, it's like your second show.
Welcome.
She
We
know
are
better.
live. Welcome to another episode of The Other Side of Vegas. I'm your host, Eddie Evans,
Bruno Bradley.
and we are coming to you live from the One Stop DJ Shop with my man Rob Alon here and Doug W,
Love coming down here, man.
aka Unfiltered Soul.
Yes, sir.
So before we hop into them, take care of some business for the week. Starting tonight, January the 9th, you got T3 at Tacos and Beer. That's Techno Taco Tuesday with Adam. I'm not even going to say his
Yeah,
last
I say,
name.
who can you not pronounce?
Adam, Pelosa, Token, and Holy Truth. Oh, maybe probably Holly Truth. And Bad Beat. And that's tonight at Tacos and Beer. And then, let's see. Tomorrow, Wednesday, you got these two cats right here coming to you from the W Hotel. And that would be the Funk Down, right?
Yes,
Love
sir.
that
Yeah. The Funk Down at the W Hotel. And also at DCR tomorrow, you got Slow Burn with Casey Andrew and Jason Casey. And my man Tony Comfort is going to be getting it in with them down at DCR. And then you have Wrecking Crew Wednesday at Juicy Beats. That's going to be with Jay Sound, D. Grigley, Audio Bender, Carlos Ellis, and the one and only Jessica Lynn.
What?
And then you have Solution Wednesdays after Slow Burn at DCR with Ikaika. Thursday, you got Soul, my man Jay Handel.
Love that dude.
It's going to be him and Shanto getting it in. That's going to be Thursday. And also at DCR Thursday, you got Downtown Soul with Lenny Alfonso. Friday is going to be a Friday night social at Bocho. I don't know who's going to be there. Also, Friday at Juicy Beats. Somebody's going to be there. I don't know who's going to be there. Saturday, you got Saturday Night Vibe at DCR with Douglas Gibbs. And I'm sure Saturday you're going to have something at Juicy Beats. I don't know who it's going to be. Sunday will be the first installment of Second Sundays with myself and Bruno Browning. And that's going to be with Ryan Truman.
Subcommittee recordings.
And that is this coming Sunday will be the second Sunday of 2018 with Ryan Truman. And I could probably say more, but if it takes that for you to be like, holy shit, it's the second Sunday of 2018 with Roy and Bruno and Ryan Truman. If I gotta say more than that, then I'll see you another time. It's all good.
And after party.
Yeah, and we're doing the after party at Juicy Beats. So
See how we do it?
that's what we got solid for this coming week through next weekend. But a heads up, Soul Kitchen is coming back, baby, and that's going to be on the 20th
Oh, the old shit.
at Bocho.
Oh, he's released it to public consumption.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
There it is.
I knew about it. I know he's ready to release it. All right. I'm excited about that one.
and matter of fact, is that?
We should get him on the show.
Yeah, that's usually. Wait a minute, let me see if it's on the flyer. Yep, Edgar's birthday.
Well,
On top of that,
On
the
top
double
of
whammy.
that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a lot of January
The
babies.
twofer.
and also in January at Bocho, you got Brian and Brenda Gardner. They're
Who?
going to be at Friday Night Social on the 26th.
Wake up with the Gardens.
Now, we'll be back before then, but that's a nice little heads up right there for you. And on the recap side, we broadcast a couple days ago. Nacho House popped with Matthew Bryan, that in the after hour, and one more time, happy birthday to my man Tony Comfort, and that's pretty much it. So, with all that out of the way,
Good night.
Unfiltered Soul is in the building.
Good evening.
We're actually an Unfiltered Souls building in a way,
But first off,
yep.
hey, old man with a T. Let's
Give
come on, give him one. Yeah,
Give Roy's squared away.
Yeah.
This little Russian teacup.
It'll make you feel a lot better. There you go.
There you go, sir.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly.
There you go,
If
sir.
I'm finally back in action.
There you
Oh,
go.
good catch. Good catch.
Quicker than I look, mama.
Speed of a mongoose, that man.
Y'all miss guys.
There he is.
I'll air tap it. Air tap that
There
shit.
you go. Wi-Fi, baby.
Yeah, Wi-Fi.
Here we go.
Maybe one day the people that we're drinking will sponsor us, but until then, this will be one turn.
We ain't gonna talk about them no more.
They
We're not even gonna bring it up no more.
somebody wants to sponsor, we'll drink something else.
We're not even gonna bring it up no more. Now, one thing that I obviously skipped was Friday nights at DCR because that's the new home for these two cats right here. So, if you haven't already, first and foremost, go to Unfiltered Soul page and hit the like button. First and foremost.
Out the gate.
Out the gate.
It's bumping last Friday.
And even if you're, Las Vegas resident, it's not like you can't do it. But I would highly encourage you not to enjoy the live stream every Friday.
There it is.
It's cool. It's a novelty, and I appreciate that they do it. And their reach is broad, but you really need to come down and check it out.
It's a different
Yes, sir.
experience.
I'm not. It really is. It really is, and I'm not going to apologize for saying it anymore. Not only do I know these cats, like these cats are like, this is fam. This is my beloveds right here. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, just because I let them like cook food, don't mean I'm going to make it is what it ain't. If they sucked, at the very least, I wouldn't be bigging them up. At the very least.
I would
At the
boo
very
it.
least.
I would boo it.
We already know, man. You will tell it like it is.
I would
Yeah, no.
boo.
No doubt.
So like when I talk about grown folk business and coming out and like really getting it in, I'm not talking about getting turned up. That's you can whatever your definition is. I don't know. I'm not gonna touch that shit. But if you're ready for some grown folk business, Friday night DCR Unfiltered Soul along with Casey Andrew.
That's a good way to put it too. It is grown folk business.
That's all.
Yeah, it's a more sophisticated craft. The palate. No, the palate. The palate. It's grown folks business.
Yeah.
It's grown folks' business.
Yeah, not necessarily sophisticated.
The
Mind your
knowledge-
shit. Don't get me wrong. Mind your shit. But it is definitely grown folk business. You just need to get down and get that.
That's right.
Get some of that in your life. Get your weekends popping. Real proper.
Yeah, so the last time we were here, we were focused on Wednesday nights at that time.
Mm-hmm.
There was no W. There was no Friday night at DCR. And so, as you probably, for those who don't know, have guessed, things have changed since the last time we were on the show.
A little bit.
A little
Just
bit.
a tad. Just a little bit.
And so I think the first thing that came up was the W. And the way that we got that, it was Mantra and Tino, Bad Beat group. They had like a package deal with the W, the SLS Hotel down on the Strip. And they were doing a Thursday night pool party. And along with that, they were doing this sideshow called The Funk Down, which was thought up by the marketing team at the W. And so they invited us to come down for, just an opening guest set. We came down, they liked what they heard. We got asked back again. This in turn started becoming a weekly event. And then after discussions with Tino decided like, hey, you know what? You guys are doing it. Why don't I let it go, hand it off to you guys? We sat down with the big boys. Contracts were signed, and what was that, last April, May, somewhere around in there? And we've been doing it ever since. So it's a 5 to 11 stint that we do every Wednesday. Funk, soul, old school, R&B, and everything in between. And we really appreciate that. So peace to Mantra, Tino, Bad Beat for that. Good luck.
Definitely.
Well, hey, I'm gonna say shout out to Cheryl. I see Shu in the building. Edgar,
What's
I
up,
see
Cheryl?
all you guys out there. I gotta give a shout out. Liz is watching. Okay. And so so we've been doing that since last year. It's been going pretty good. CES week, we expect a pretty good turnout tomorrow when we go down there to play.
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
It starts tonight, right? CS starts today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's popping over there.
And so then now let's talk about the big one, Friday. So the way Friday came across, most of you know resident DJ Carlos Sanchez on Friday nights.
Friday night
You know,
social.
he's been Friday Night Social, and he was holding down that spot for 10 years plus, you know, and I think he got to a point where he was like, it was a good run, I'm ready to retire, move on to other projects that I have, and so he announced that retirement Friday night, the week before October 20th. That's the only way I can remember it.
Right.
And then with that, his parting gift was that he went to Michael Cornwick, the owner of DCR, and said, you know what, if I can make a recommendation, I would like to recommend Unfiltered Soul to take over Friday nights. And unknown to us, until I got that call Saturday morning, the following morning, at like 7:30 in the morning, from Michael, saying that Carlos retired, and he offered us the position. Needless to say, I didn't need any coffee that morning. and so, after I woke up, I couldn't dial Rob fast enough to share the good news with him. And Rob was like, stop playing with me, Doug. I know you're joking, man. Don't make me have to come over to your house.
You guys definitely put the time in, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And touching in on that, I mean, there's probably some people that are asking the question, how do we get that? And it came from a 9-year interview of slanging and banging on Wednesday nights. And honestly, we were doing it for free. And, but back then, Rob and I came up with this idea that, okay, we're doing this for free. And this was our decision to do it for free because 9 years ago when the gig was offered to us, I went to Michael and I said, hey, look, I want to start doing Wednesday nights. And, Michael was straight up at the very beginning. He was like, I don't have it in the budget. Wednesday nights are known for not being that great. But if you want to do it, you go ahead and do it. It's totally up to you. And I appreciated that because that gave me the decision to make that, do I really want to do this? I saw something in DCR. I saw, there were elements that we could use that could turn it to our advantage. And when I teamed up with Rob was able to find out what those pieces were that would turn it into our advantage. And we made good use of it. So I don't want to hog up all of the time. I'll let Rob share some of that story and how that.
Yeah, but I think the biggest piece of that, the biggest takeaway for us was we got that gig. We saw it as an opportunity to kind of create a night of our own.
It's a tough night. That Wednesday night's
it's
a tough
real,
night.
It's a real tough night.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: use it as your front office.
Yeah.
Get your grind on, polish your art, tweak your craft, and get that going. And I think that for us,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Please say that again.
Yeah, I mean, polish your art, tweak your craft. I think that a lot of cats get out here and they just don't want to do the work.
They swing for the fences.
They want to revolve instead of evolve. And I think for us, it's all about evolution. It's about innovation. It's not about gimmick. It's not about trend. We're trying to get out here and actually say something.
Because they don't want to get you so far.
Exactly.
That shiny stuff
Exactly.
so far.
Exactly.
Let me put a little bit of polish on there. It's not that you aren't willing to work and grind and do all the things he's saying. It's just that your definition of what he's saying is totally different.
Yeah, we had cats in
now. You guys may be approaching it like, yeah, I'm grinding.
Yeah, 9 years, man.
And I'm not saying that you have to wait 9 years either.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to polishing your craft and honing your shit,
right.
I'm sorry. Hashtag 6 month motherfucker.
6 month
I'm just saying. It's a mentality. It has nothing to do with the fact that you've only been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's a way of thinking and approaching things that's completely different.
I was always impressed by the fact that I would come there because Wednesday night stuff night. I popped in a few times on Wednesday, and it was dead.
Yeah.
But you guys were still
banging, swinging for the fence,
and there was no drop in the level of play. Whether if there was one person in there or it was full, and there was nights that it was full, but it was the product was the product.
Consistent.
Yeah.
If I can just translate that real quick, banging and swinging for the fences still doesn't mean that there's a 3 a.m. set going on at 9 a.m.
Oh,
Not
but
true.
valid. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's valid.
Put that shit in
Yeah,
context.
valid.
You know, just want to translate that real quick. No,
Yeah, that's
you're right.
valid.
Don't take those
You're right.
words the wrong
You're
way.
right. You're right. And I think our trademark, number one, our sound is organic. It matches the room. It matches the time of hour. It matches. It's in context.
Yeah.
It's not out of context.
Time slot appropriate.
And I think in terms of
Time slot appropriate.
in terms of the cats that had an issue with us playing for free and knocking the hustle there, what I told people all the time is we weren't playing for free. We were playing for our freedom. And I think to be able to go in there and do it the way we want to
Sage
do
of
it.
Summerlin right
Hey
now.
man,
God
it
damn.
was when you. I think that here's the thing. This dude right here did a 9-year internship right there side by side with me when he had 20 years, 30 years already in the game.
Yeah.
Already in the game.
He's old.
Could have come in and been like,
They're going to get older. They're going to get older.
But I'm saying that if you aren't capable of learning a new trick, it's just get wrapped up. Throw in the towel, have somebody real close to you,
everybody time trouble. Yeah.
Save everybody the time because it's going to be a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Now, okay, that kind of lends itself to an argument that has come in and out for the past few years when it comes to learning new tricks. What makes it new? You know what I mean? So it's like there has to be a standard, something like some fundamentals that something is based on in order to determine what's new.
Well, you and I know, you know, because you were doing it back in the day too. And back in the day, relatively about 6-7 years ago here for house music in Las Vegas, is that nobody was broadcasting.
Oh yeah.
Here. Nobody was doing that. And I had cats asking us all the time, why are you guys looking all that stuff down? It's a Wednesday night, blah, blah, blah. You're doing all this work and it's too extra. And for us, that Wednesday night led to countless corporate gigs here. It led us to Japan. People. It led us to Japan.
Yes.
I mean, because of that, Nori came to the States.
Yeah.
No one would have known who a Nori was. He's never been to the United States.
Nori's awesome.
But he heard our
and
show.
Just to put what he just said in context, me and him, we were streaming.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, we begging cats just to record audio.
Yeah, that's true. Back then,
That's
It's like, come on, man! Like we were fighting a good fight a long time ago, way before this shit was cool, way before the live streaming and all of that other shit. It's just that on one side, it could sound like we're saying to just wait, and it's not exactly what I'm saying. There's some fluidity to it. If you're honing your craft and you're working and you're hustling, sometimes options are opportunities, but all opportunities
ain't an option.
All money ain't good money.
It's not really an opportunity until you turn it into one. You know what I mean? So it's like, just because you get the option to play out when you should still be in your fucking bedroom, like who's going to be who's going to safeguard the integrity? Where's that foundation? Those fundamentals, your do's and don'ts, within reason. There's no black and white shit. But within reason, like who are the gatekeepers?
Right.
Like who's saying, well, it's one thing to be seen as an elder statesman.
Right.
It's another one to act like one.
Yeah.
So like when you act like one, then you get the blowback with, the...
Oh yeah, you do.
And don't get me wrong, I don't mind the blowback. I say what the fuck I need to say.
Yep.
I try to be nice at first, I'll give you that. But at the same time, what that's juxtaposed against is the fact that the whole art is still technically new.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm posing those questions of like, what's the standard? Like,
Well, for us, it's our standard. We set the standard. I think.
I mean, because you're talking to a couple of cats who's been in the game for, God, man, I mean, over half of their life. And I'm over 50 right now. I'm not going to give you the exact number, but I'm over 50. And so the key to staying alive in this business, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, is evolution. You have to learn how to evolve throughout the decades. I mean, I'm not the same DJ that I was 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Or I'm not going to sit there and tell you, like, I used to play in front of thousands of people when I was young. my DJ name was different. You know, my name back then was Mr. Magic. You know, let's just keep that between us.
Mr. Magic.
You know,
No, there already was a Mr. Magic.
right. I did radio for 2 years. You know, I played in front of a slow night for me was like 400 people. That was a slow night. On an average night, we were doing anywhere from 8 to 1,100 people on a night. I mean, just huge crowds and stuff. But that was back in the 80s. Now, I'm not going to go around and sell my resume to everybody because that doesn't matter right now. It doesn't.
Right, that was
it doesn't. That was then.
You know what? Let me jump in for a second. Just like generally speaking. Now, I've used that as my excuse for not doing a bio for 20 years. Because I felt like,
yeah, you probably should get up on that.
I barely give a fuck about the shit I did back then.
Right.
Why the fuck you gonna judge me on that anyway? Like, I barely even know these people anymore. I can't even find, I don't know who's alive anymore. I moved from New York, you know, like 18 years ago now, some shit. You know, so it's like.
That's why you always retool it though. Like you can't have your, like you can't have stuff back super old. If you're doing stuff now, they will find that older stuff. Like you got to retool that shit every year and say. Because
see, what I realized after a while, at first I was just being stubborn. Let's just
I'm trying to do your EPK for like a year.
I was just being stubborn. I mean, for one, I got a hard time talking about the shit that I've done because I barely give a fuck anymore. Besides, like, personal memories. Like, I remember when I threw that song on and motherfuckers went nuts and whatever.
Trying to find a picture of you with anybody you play with.
I don't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't do it, you know. It's just one of, I mean, if it happens, I'm not going to run. Sure. You know, but I'm like, you know, hey, Doc, let's, you know, that shit feels wrong.
That might be a little bit of that. You gotta kind of use your assets. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. Taking not to say, hey, look, I'm a doc, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I'll put it like this: it is what it is. If someone takes a photo,
sure,
yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna say let me pad my resume. Let me get my likes.
But that's not padding the resume. But it's a part. Unfortunately, it's a part of the game now. Like photos.
Of course.
EPKs, mixes. That's just there's no more. Just let's jump on and play.
Right, no.
That shit's gone.
See, but when it comes to evolving, you know, and coming from an era where just what you were capable of spoke for itself.
Sure.
You know,
the way the game now.
So that put me on a slow boat to evolving. and you know, adhering to the fact that everybody lives for likes now. If you don't have no likes, then you kind of don't exist. You know, technically you do, but you're just not out there on a regular basis because you're not associating. I don't tag people that aren't directly involved in what I'm doing.
I don't either.
You know, so I mean, I'm just not that guy that, you know, makes a statement, you know, and tag 96 people.
There's a balance. There's a balance, and that's I think each individual will find out what that balance is. Because I hate when people tag me in shit that I'm not involved in. Mm-hmm. Give me the invite, but don't tag me, especially on a release day, because that's just stupid. Don't bump my shit for your shit if I'm not involved in it. Because off the bat, that's pisses me off. Sure. But there's a balance, and each individual is different. I think. You know, I get what you're saying too.
But at the same time, you also complain about not knowing about the shit that you want to know about.
No, that's valid. But that's the people who have my phone number.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you that. That's mixed in with a little bit of grown folk business.
Yeah, I mean, you got my number.
Like if we cool like that, then, you know, you got my number.
Because you don't have my number for not.
But you got to be clear what you came to do. And I think And I think that for us, if you go back to the archives, because it's all out there online, I mean, everything's online, you can see the evolution of the Unfiltered Soul brand. I mean, when we first got together, it wasn't branded that way at all. And if you look at the
it was just a Rob and Doug show.
Right, and if you look at the way that we played back then at DCR was a very different place.
Do you guys embrace it? Because at first I have a similar line. Like I used to be embarrassed by the catalog, early catalog of my music, and because that's as good as I was at the time. Now I look at it as it's a story of where I started from to where I'm at.
That's exactly what
it is. And what's the word is there? Evolution.
Yeah,
that's a perfect example.
So you embrace it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you go back and listen to the way that we played back then, it wasn't Trainwreck City. It was still good music. It was still mixed very well. It was still appropriate for that room. But that room and that scene and that crowd have also evolved.
Yeah.
And if Doug and I tried to play the same way that we played 10 years ago, for DCR, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Well, the Vegas scene is a general.
Exactly.
Has grown.
So when
grown.
you look at in terms of evolution, you see cats out here doing stuff that they weren't doing 5 years ago. When we were out here trying to beg people to record and broadcast and do all this stuff, now everybody's doing.
Let's go full circle.
Yeah,
we don't do a fucking live stream.
Yeah.
For Second Sunday because we're like, fuck you, come on down.
And there you have, and that's what I'm saying.
Not fuck you, but like, come on down. We'll post the show later.
I want you to see it.
Man, you said every time.
And so for us, if we could do it, if I had my druthers, what would happen here is that I would do it like the NFL, blacked out locally.
Yeah, buddy.
There's no reason for anybody.
That's next level thinking. That's next level thinking right there.
That's exactly what I would do.
Yes.
I want the whole world to
How
see
do
it.
you do that?
But Las Vegas, no. You need to come down to the spot.
That's brilliant.
You need to be downtown.
You know what? That just made me think of something. I think I know how to do that.
Do you?
Yeah, because I'd show and tell me.
I can get pretty close.
That's next level shit right
I
there.
can get pretty
Yeah.
close.
Because that's
And
exactly
in
what we
theory.
want.
Right.
In theory. I'll run it past you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's unfiltered. So we're always thinking,
Damn, that was
always
good.
trying to push the
That was
envelope,
good.
always trying to figure out what's next. We're not sitting on our laurels, being comfortable with what's happening. I mean, in the culture, the shift in the culture at DCR is palpable.
Yeah.
And when we came in there, you know, with our first nights, our first Fridays, when we were starting to do it, you know, guys were like, the staff there was like, oh man, that was a great night, great night, great night, great night. For us,
We're just warming up.
Not such a great night.
We're just taking the temperature.
Right.
And with that said, I would like to kind of mention Casey, because Casey decided to stay around.
Who's that guy?
Casey
Yeah,
Andrews.
that dude's garbage. I love that dude, man. I love that dude.
So for those who don't know, Casey Andrews is a percussionist that plays with us every Friday night. He's been with DCR for, I would say, almost as long as us. I mean,
He's one of the good guys to sing too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he's one of those cats that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig that dude.
Percussionist that just puts it down.
Yeah.
And just a general good dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Albeit a lazy bastard, but he's a good dude though.
Man, I can't.
Everybody can't give you compliments, man.
I can't get off the tip.
I had to be different.
Right now, I'm forming a placard that says, "Due to local restrictions, this broadcast, this stream has been blackout date."
Exactly.
That's all I can think about.
Yeah.
That's all I can think about. Right
Yeah,
now,
it's a
dude.
good move because I think that, you know, and you know how it is. I
Excuse my
mean,
cough.
when you do a weekly or when you're too accessible, then you know people start to take it for granted.
No one takes the high school sweat to dinner.
That's right, and we're trying to make sure that these people know that what you're seeing in the scene, not just with Unfiltered Soul, but what you're seeing in Las Vegas in terms of house music and that movement, that's something special. Get involved.
You know,
get into it.
I'll make a direct correlation. You see it right at home too. You do it with your family.
Yeah.
We all take shit for granted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Just saying.
No
I
doubt.
take myself for granted.
Hey, look, man. Be in a private relationship with yourself, man. You know.
But for us, it's really important that with the support of like Carlos and others, and Michael Conway for sure, and the other staff, it was really important for us to let them know that, you know, our church home on this Friday night was their home.
Yeah.
And that we were going to do everything not only to promote our brand, but to promote the whole vibe and the whole scene and the whole culture of that room.
Tell me this: does the powers that be at DCR, do they know the footprint that you guys are doing, not just for Unfiltered Soul, but for DCR?
Yeah,
Are they aware of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I mean, I can speak to that. And so, again, because we were doing Wednesday nights, we were on that night that no one really paid attention to. And so it was like us being down in a fucking basement hitting a heavy bag for 9 years straight.
Yeah, it was a nice
You know.
rough. That's a rough draw, isn't it?
Yeah,
Chasing the
It's a
chicken.
short stick.
I did it for like 6
It's a
months
short
at that comedy club. It was like, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah,
It's rough.
It's rough.
you know, you're hitting that heavy bag for 9 years straight, man, waiting for that prize fight.
That's right, dude.
And so don't think for 1 second that when that chance and opportunity come, that we're not going to kick the doors off,
Got to.
ready to knock motherfuckers out in the
Got
first
to.
round as soon as we step up. We
Yeah.
coming out like Mike Tyson.
For 22.
Now
not
that
30.
personifies the difference between an option and an opportunity.
Ooh,
Yeah, I like that.
That's where it comes into play.
still, all
That's
these
an
things,
obvious opportunity, you know, because they've been prepping for it for all that time.
You know,
not for that in particular. Oh man, I wish we get us a Friday night. No, it's just that.
I like that you went to that voice.
When something comes along, we already primed. We already worked up a sweat.
Yeah.
Look out for this cross.
We already glossy. You know. This
so
is,
right.
This
no
is
need to
light
rush.
work
As soon as Coach Greenlight said get in the game,
get in the game.
We ready.
And all bullshit
Guns out
aside,
with the sun's out, man.
That's why a lot of the shit that I'm not even gonna say a lot of shit that cats like you guys do looks so easy. Is because they already lathered up. They already got the sweat going. It never stopped.
Never stopped.
Never stopped.
Kept hitting the
Never
back.
stopped.
Kept hitting the back.
Well, you know what? It's like I had someone tell me when we celebrated our on the label tip. We did over 10 years. Someone's been. It's like overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's like overnight. Overnight, my ass, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's shit overnight.
Right. It was
Just
not at all an overnight
sensation.
sensation.
I've been hitting the bag.
Absolutely.
You know, it's
You
like
put in work.
yeah, exactly.
So to answer your question, the powers that be, as you phrased it, they did know. They were well aware of what
That's
we were
good.
doing, and in fact, they complimented us on various occasions of doing that. They liked what we were doing. They liked how we were doing it. The staff was completely thrilled. I mean, in fact, we had staff that were volunteering to work on Wednesday nights. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They were volunteering to work on Wednesday nights because they liked what we were doing on Wednesday nights.
Seems to be a theme down there.
And so when you have that kind of backing or that kind of support, not only from Carlos, but from the staff and the owner himself,
You're set up for
So,
success.
you know, why not?
Well, he goes back to the grind because you've been putting in the grind.
Mm-hmm.
They see that's a safe horse to back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
I mean,
So-
if you guys weren't doing that, no one would volunteer for that.
right.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the cause and effect.
Right, and
Basically.
to be able to, you fast forward, so 9 years later, you're doing all these corporate gigs all around town, on and off the strip. You're traveling, going everywhere, going overseas, playing over there, bringing Nori back here. Then you get an opportunity such as the one we have at DCR now on Friday nights, and to be concurrently and at the same time playing on the strip at the W. I mean, it's just, life is good right now, but we don't rest and ease back on that because it's good. You
Can't do
still
that. Not.
No, you still got to put the time in. You got to put the work in. Me and this cat, we debrief after every set.
Every
the next
single
day.
week, we're on the
And
phone with each other, keeping a foot in each other's asses.
Yeah, what worked, what didn't work.
Who's
what
that sound
needs
like?
through.
Who's that sound like?
But you have to though. I think that people think that a career like this where you're DJing and stuff like that it's just all fun and games. You're sitting at the bar, you're drinking, you're playing music, you're having a good time.
That's the problem. Too many guys are actually doing that.
Well, that's
Well, see, here's the thing. But the real problem, he said DJ career. Y'all motherfuckers is obsessed with DJ life.
Well, yeah, and there's a difference.
You want to hashtag DJ life?
Too old for that life.
That shit sounds real cool. It sounds kind of sexy, if I'm young, dumb, and full of cum.
Oh,
But you got a mature palate, DJ career. I mean, this is a way of life,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
It's not just DJ life.
Right.
It's making a life and a career along with your life.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's the rub right there.
Right.
That's why I never called myself DJ Roy Evans. A DJ is who I am.
Yeah.
It's not what I do.
Right.
If I depended on DJing to make money and keep the lights on, you gotta be out your fucking mind.
No.
It don't make no
and
sense.
So that segues really nicely into me and Doug again because our thing was that this was all about passion. DJing for us was all about passion. This is what we want to do. It's not what we have to do.
Which makes you make more sound decisions.
It makes you. It makes you stay true to your mission and your objective and your. He and I have stayed true to our sound throughout the years. I mean, when you go back 9 years, even though we're playing differently, it ain't fake.
Right.
It's real. That those mixes stand up. The music's 9 years, 10 years old, whatever, but it still stands up. It still holds up. And what was going on in that room at the time, it was appropriate. And then to be able to go to the W, flip it, funk, soul, R&B, hip hop, whatever.
Which is what we all love.
We still have right. But I think that what people don't know is Wednesday night could have been anything and everything. It could have been 2 people in the room, or it could have been packed in the room. It could have been 50 people from Australia or 2 people from Compton. You just didn't know. And we had to make that connection every Wednesday.
And that's a hard place to play. It's a hard place to play.
Yeah,
it was
a hard place to play.
It was
and we've all played at DCR,
Yeah,
so I mean, it's, as you all know, it's a constant moving target.
And the way the booth for me is there's not a lot of connection with the crowd, so it's like you really have to look. You have to really look, and it's like just to be able to do that. Obviously, you play there more than me, obviously, so you probably get a better feel of it. But every time I play there, it's like it's just I feel pushed away a little bit. It's hard. So to cultivate that.
To me, there's nothing to feel because to me, I just go in knowing that the crowd is transient. Just like the town, you know, it's positioned in a spot where you got people coming across from the Fremont experience, just looking. Mm-hmm. They haven't decided yet,
right?
You know, so if they happen to see other people going in, that's the only way they're going to see it first and foremost.
Correct.
Yeah, they got to see other people going in because if not, you know,
it's on the speakeasy tip,
you know, miming their way.
Yeah.
But anyway. But they come in, it's like, oh, you know, and it can go either way. It's cool, depending on when they come in, who's already in, and there's all these moving parts and X factors where after a while it's just like, I know it's transient. I know at some point I'm going to feel a breeze.
Yeah.
And
or someone banging on the door.
At some point, you know, you can look up and you can have it packed, and then look up again, and it's.
How's the downtown project?
Who left the
I
door
want to
open?
touch on what you just said, and that's a very important point you brought up. So, the history of DCR, at least, you know, more times than not, I used to nickname DCR the airport because it was like people would come in there ready. They got something else planned, but they're stopping by DCR. They have a few drinks, and they're constantly checking their watches. Okay.
When's the time on Buzz?
Right.
Is my food ready yet?
You know, but they got someplace else to be.
Yeah.
And as a DJ, one of the most crushing blows to your ego is you're sitting there banging it out, and then all of a sudden you see 30 people get up and just leave. And it's like, and they're waving bye to you and dancing on their way out the door.
You're like,
and it's
what the fuck?
What the hell?
You have to learn how to translate that.
Right.
That's like Morse code. You gotta figure what that really means.
Depending on where you're at.
And if you don't know, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Your face is gonna be cracked.
Sir.
Your bottom lip is gonna be quivering.
But 10 years ago, it was the destination. And then somewhere along the way, it turned into a departure gate.
So tell me this, how is that? Way to tie that shit back into the departure gate. That was nice. Tell me how the downtown project has worked in your pros, cons.
That's a very good question. So
excuse my cough, people. Sorry.
Yeah. So downtown project in Tony Hsieh's money, $300 million or whatever it was, brought a lot of buzz to downtown. It helped develop properties that weren't being developed. But it brought a younger crowd, because 10 years ago, I would say DCR's crowd was 30 plus. Now that area is 20 plus. And I think that people were coming down to unwind, decompress, and now people are coming down. Right, cocktails and conversation. Now people are coming downtown to get buck. They're trying to get loose. And so what you see is that you see a palette that's being spread on that block that is one flavor, and our flavor is energy, but their flavor is energy, in my opinion, energy, open format, real easy read. Our flavor is energy, but it's a different format. We're still true to that keep it cocktail vibe, and so you're gonna come in.
It is. But
we're curating. It's like
the C word.
I've heard Roy say everything ain't for everybody.
That's right.
And so we're not trying to be another Commonwealth, another Red, another Vanguard, another American, another Beauty Bar. We're staying and that's 9 years of staying in your lane has paid dividends for us.
Because that would be weird if I came in there and I heard you guys just going buck wild.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you guys can't, but it would be what's going on.
Exactly. But I think that when you see how we build our sets, when you see how we craft our sets, when you come in to DCR at 9 o'clock, it looks like you came into a club at 9 o'clock. It doesn't sound like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. It sounds like what it's supposed to sound like. Yeah. It's real clever, it's real cool, but it's approachable. Yeah. I mean, we're not trying to teach anybody. We ain't trying to we're better than you, and you don't know this cool ass music we're
There's
playing.
some lessons to be learned if you're paying attention.
That's the point. Yeah. If you're paying attention, we're still knocking that heat.
Yeah.
We're still knocking that heat.
That's
Even
right.
if it's from 96 BPM to 127 BPM, we're still dropping that science on them. But you gotta know who your crowd is. You gotta know who your audience is. And DCR, while DCR, the bones of it are the same, the clientele has changed. So the DJs can't play the same way they did 9 years ago, expecting to hold these people.
Tell me, how's the speakeasy affected you guys? Or has it?
I think actually the speakeasy, so if you're talking about sip and tip in the back,
yeah,
I think that's kind of actually helped us because there's that group of people that come back there and they just stay there. They hold that place down, they do their thing, and then every once in a while you'll see somebody pop out because as our night gradually builds, you get that energy from Casey, you get that energy from Doug, you get that, absolutely it hits them. And then, but I'm going to say this, I think that in many respects, they still think it's a departure gate. And they end up staying, they get that text, your food's ready, or your girl's ready, and they're like, you know what, give me 20 more minutes.
Your girl's ready, damn.
I'm just saying that people are being pleasantly surprised.
That's it.
And they're coming in thinking, you know what, we're going to get up here, we're going to posse up, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do, and then we're going to go do that. Then they end up finding, they wake up.
Never make it. They never make it out the door.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we're saying,
well, you know what? I'll catch the next flight.
And we're saying, you know what? Let's leave over here and go to Bocha.
Yeah, and we show Carlos love.
Absolutely.
Every time I'm at Bocha, which I don't miss many of them, but you guys are always in.
Absolutely, man. When we finish our set, we take it right down the block, past all that other stuff, and turn that corner and hit to Bocha.
That's right.
There was a lot packed into that just now. There was a lot. There was
I'm packing for it, Roy. I'm packing for it.
There was a lot packed into that just now, man. And I'm not going to break it all down, man, because it's multifaceted at best, obviously. But the takeaway is this: not only has the crowd at DCR changed, it continues to change. In a night.
Yeah.
In a night. Yeah. You can go from youngsters that want to get turned to motherfuckers from Iowa that just want to chill.
Better tell it.
You can see the FICA scores walking through the door. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's true.
I mean, and you have to constantly adjust accordingly. Yes. And it was sometime, I think it was early, probably first quarter last year. I remember it really, really stood out, and I was there. And I was talking about how you completely went left field to hold that group that was there.
Oh yeah, that group that came in and you found their page and stayed there. I wasn't there that night. You're talking about them.
Yeah. Because I remember making a big deal out of it because it was monumental. I like only because I'm a DJ. I can hear what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. Not only do you hear him trying to do it, but you actually see it work. And it's so hard to fucking explain, man. And
right, because they weren't the typical DCR.
They weren't. Right. They were just passing through.
They were just passing through.
But they were just passing through. They really didn't plan on buying more than 1 to 2 drinks.
Mm-mm.
If that, probably.
And it was a good 17 to 20 or more of them. Older folks.
Right.
And he just went completely left field and kept them the whole fucking night.
Yeah.
And it was still the same energy, grown folk business. Yeah. It was just different music.
Yeah.
Because 17, 20 folks in DCR is a big ass difference.
Yeah, but the other side.
Oh, you can feel the breeze if they leave.
But the other side of that is that it's synonymous with what we've done across the 9 years. Get ready, stay ready, be ready, and then execute. And I think that what happened there was. And you see, like when we were talking about before we got on camera, we were chopping up the 4 of us while we were setting up, and we're still sharing the latest trends. Roy's talking about his camera. We're talking about these solid state hard drives, and that solid state hard drives is one of those things that help me stay ready. Yeah, I got 500 gigs in a CDJ ready to rock. So when ready to go. So when when this crowd comes in. That's from someplace else that doesn't speak DCR's language, but still speaks DCR's vibe because there's a DJ responsive to them because Roy saw me there. I'm trying to find them because when they came in, I didn't know them. They didn't know me. What I was playing was not their cup of tea when they came in.
You can see it.
Yeah.
I think at ECR they didn't speak English.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they were feeling the vibe.
And reading the room, you gotta go back to DJ 101. This ain't about me. It's about them. I want them to have a great time.
Thank you.
Right. So I'm not playing to my ego. I'm playing to them.
You know.
Right. I know how to DJ. I know I'm good at that. That's not even why I'm out there doing that.
Yeah.
My
I need you to stay here.
My prime directive is to make sure that they have a good time. I'm gonna have a good time.
If they have a good time, they're buying drinks.
Absolutely. They're buying drinks, and the bar's making money, and bills get paid.
Ain't it funny how that works?
It's amazing. It's amazing. So the technology that we're geeking out about before we go on the broadcast is a solid state drive that mounts up to my CDJ that has 500 gigs worth of music. It ain't all one genre because I know that I'm not playing on one crowd. Mm-hmm. And so when I can find them, I have enough ammunition to keep hitting them. So like Roy said, they didn't stay for a 20-minute set because I only got so much 70s music. They stayed all night. And then I'm still sprinkling stuff because they weren't the only people there. I still got to talk to the other people in the room. So
let me translate that real quick. That means he had the banana clips taped together upside down.
Let me help you out. That's some bullshit. Don't ever do that. Back it up.
Clip.
Don't ever do that shit. That's stupid Hollywood bullshit. Back me up.
Yeah,
it's a figure of speech. But
I'm out. Clip.
You gotta be ready.
I mean, it's the kind of forethought that, in other words, when you get to a certain stage, you're chock full of what ifs.
Yep.
And if you ask what if enough, then you'll always be ahead of the game.
Well, because I think a big portion of DJing is overcoming the problems. And that problem could be the crowd's different. The crowd's they want this music, that music. They be technical. It's not about. I mean, it is about how you can play, obviously, but at this level, as long as we've been doing it, all of us, it's about overcoming whatever problem comes up. And that problem can present itself in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's not only reflected in our style of play, it's not only reflected in the way that we try and reach our audience, it's reflected in every part of this game that we're in. I mean, for us, it's about the culture. Yeah. I mean, you see it reflected in the shop. There ain't one kind of record back there. There's real vinyl back there. There's time code vinyl back there. There's all kinds of stuff. There's DAWs, and I mean, we just everything. There's 45s. I mean, we're just trying to add something to the game instead of just taking something away. Because I can get up there and just
can't stay sharp if you ain't got the tools.
There it is, man. Yeah. We could pitch for a paycheck, but that's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
The paycheck will come, man.
No doubt about it, and we're living proof of that. And I mean, and like Roy said earlier, not only this was our path, this was our journey. Somebody else maybe playing for 9 years. They're
gonna take a different journey.
That's not their thing.
Well,
I'm not. You're right. You gotta know what you're doing and why you're doing it. It has to make sense to you.
Yeah.
And
it's a philosophy.
Absolutely.
It's a philosophy.
Absolutely. And for us, we were crystal clear what we were doing. And I think that because we did it the way that worked for us, we're reaping the benefits of those efforts. But I think that had we tried to do it somebody else's way, or the way somebody else would have suggested to us to do it, it may not have worked out this way.
I wouldn't like that.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I think I'm gonna rock the boat just a little bit, just a little bit. Although theoretically speaking, I do absolutely agree with what he's saying, but and it may be a blanket statement, but I think there are some fundamentals. Now, I think a lot of us are afforded the ability to do what we want when we want to because we can afford to.
Oh, for sure.
That means that we made choices and we built a life as opposed to, let's say, the difference between pursuing DJ as a career. Now, I have to depend on DJing to keep the lights on while I'm trying to get better as a DJ. That may not be grown folk business.
Right. That's a different.
That's
what I mean? Because when it's all said and done, I can't speak for anybody outside this room, but generally speaking, I can't afford to depend on DJing to pay my overhead. No. I can't.
No.
You know what I mean? So I make choices. I build a life that allows me the luxury of doing what I want to do because I've already set out on doing what I gotta do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we never took every gig that was offered to us.
And that, not only that, but I've never, ever in my entire life wanted to have DJing as my primary career because I'm too passionate about it. Once it starts to feel like a job, I'm not liking it anymore.
No.
Now that won't stop us from saying "fuck you, pay me," but but that's our choice,
right?
You know, like if I'm slammed and I need it, and I already scheduled, I have to schedule a day of nothing, goddammit. And if I schedule that day of nothing and something comes up,
well, production is the same way. Like with the label, like run the label. It's like last year I hardly wrote any music. I only did like 2 or 3 EPs because it was such a job. And it's going to continue to be a job, but it's sort of the same what you're saying. Like I kind of lost a little bit of the passion of writing music.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's come back in the past couple of months, and I think it was that I haven't had a release on my own label in 2 years.
Wow.
I've had one remix. Now we've had a release every month, but it's 100 hours per release. You know, it became a job.
Right.
And a pain in the ass one. And you know, and now it's come back, that passion. I'm writing now. But I see exactly what you're saying. I mean, it's tough when that becomes what you do.
Yeah, but when you have to do it, it
right.
really takes a lot of the energy out of what you want to do.
Yeah.
So it's so far so good. I mean, it's been a really nice ride from day one on Friday.
Maybe sometime you come out second Sunday.
Yes, yeah, absolutely,
yeah, for sure.
And what is that on second Sunday?
What is it?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Second Sunday with Bruno and Boy.
There you go. Second Sunday. A shameless plug.
I just want to see you my birthday. And it's your birthday.
And it's my birthday, so I got to come out this Sunday. This Sunday is my birthday.
Oh man, we're gonna do the old man then. It's a wrap. I'm letting you know right now, Sharon. It's a wrap. I'm gonna apologize right now in advance. It's a wrap,
dude. Hey,
don't even drive there.
On the sidebar, I love Your Girl on the Floor is one of my favorite things because she's all in. She's all in.
Now, I love it. I'm gonna go one better. Now, for me personally, this really represents house music. Not only do I like see her on the floor, I like to see how much she's grown on being comfortable being on the floor. Because when she first came to DCR, she didn't know.
See, I wasn't privy to that. Really, I didn't know that.
She was completely out of her element. And you can see like her not only just embrace it, but like
she's all in.
Really,
she's all in. Yeah.
I mean, granted, whether she liked the music or not, she still be fam bam on the strength with extra length, just because of that. But the fact that she really is fam just makes it that much better. You know what I mean? I can't help it, man. It's not just the music, man.
Ride or die, man.
That's right.
Yeah. It's not just the music.
And the energy is contagious. You know,
it
is.
It's
infectious. You know, you see one person get up at DCR, and then you see 2 people get up, and the next thing you know, the floor is filled.
Hey, DCR is not the easiest place to dance in.
It's not.
I mean, listen, it's not.
You're
technically it doesn't have a dance floor.
No, because it's 2 soundmen swimming upstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Every night, but I think that again, you know, understanding where you're going, understanding what you're trying to do, and humbling yourself up enough to say that it's not a connection unless we made the connection with the crowd. Then I think you're good, you know. But to know your music and know your gear and all that, but you don't know your people,
you're lost. You're lost in the woods, man.
You're trying to catch a fish without casting a line.
There it is.
Shit.
Man, y'all just dropping some crazy fucking. I'm stealing all that shit.
That was my country boy.
Hip hop quotables.
I'm taking all that shit.
Yeah, so with the energy that we've been trying to curate over the past, you know, since we started, which was October 20th of last year, we've included Casey into our fold on our weekly calls, and it's like, Casey, all 3 of us, we're going to get on the same page. How do we do that? And then we start working out the details. Okay, you go on a certain time, or you know, or when it feels right, jump in, get on the skins. We'll fall out, give you some solos, put the spotlight on you.
Push him up front.
You know,
get
push
that
him
light
up front.
He was so good last Sunday. I booed him. I had to boo him last Sunday.
We got a Casey cam when you do the broadcast.
Yeah, we have a Casey cam now.
Spotlight that dude.
Can y'all get him to dance?
Yeah.
I know that dude can dance. That's that video of his.
I saw, you know, actually, it was really cool. His mom was out there dancing.
His mom, yeah, he brings his mom out every week.
Dope.
Big up to Casey's mom.
Getting it in.
Because she's at DCR quite a bit.
Yes, she is.
That's dope.
Getting it in.
Yeah.
Putting in work. Yeah, that's it, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Also, big shout out to Billy and Annie and the whole fam there. They come out every Friday.
Yeah.
They show mad love, mad support, man. And, and I really
We'll see y'all
appreciate
Sunday
that.
too. They took off a night. They took off the next day of work to come
And
next
the other
Sunday.
and the coolest
And
thing,
happy belated birthday to Annie.
Yes. Happy birthday, Annie.
And I think one of the coolest things is one of the greatest compliments is that you'll see guys, DJs from all over Vegas, not necessarily telling us they were in the room while they were in the room, but coming up to us on their way out. You know what? Hey, Rob. Hey, Doug. That was an amazing set. You know, been sitting at the bar, just vibing to what you've been doing. You've been putting it down. I mean, there's so many cats that come in and show us love.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can do that first. I might be drunk for it.
Yeah,
I might be drunk until I do all that. I gotta say, hey, first.
Egger's been through the spot. Shoe's been through the spot. I mean,
Shoe.
all these
Disco
Supreme. I mean, just all these cats
been coming through.
Everybody's coming through. Mindy. I mean, just every Vixen. I mean, there's so many people that DJ in this town that appreciate what we're doing, and we appreciate them.
Show love, baby.
We do not take it for granted. We just do not take it for granted.
Yeah.
I think what makes that not really a big deal, but a deal, generally speaking, is because it's something that we used to talk about when it came to the picnic, and how you could have so many DJs that kind of have their own sound. So yeah, we're talking about house music, and even within, I mean, I hate to get into all the subgenres and all that shit, but generally speaking, everybody kind of has their own sound. And when everybody still appreciates what everybody else is bringing to the table, that kind of makes it for more grown folk business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that contributes. I think that is what helps distinguish our scene from another scene. You know, because there's something going on in San Francisco, there's something going on in New York, there's something going on in Chicago, but there's something going on right here in Las Vegas.
And it's real.
And it's real.
That's the whole point of this whole show.
Yeah, and then you see like Fuzzy Entertainment holding it down with that picnic every year, highlighting, you know, the vast majority of people that are right here in this room and elsewhere in Vegas doing it. And so I think that, you know, like Doug and I are, and don't get me wrong, we've had many people come through and play with us. Many people come through and play with us. Local cats, all the way to Nori from Japan, come play with us, and everybody in between. Some celebrity DJs, if you want to use that term or whatever. You know, we've had Chosen Few, right? We've had Chosen Few, Wayne Williams out here. We've had Stacey Kidd. We've had, like he said, my dream.
Lenny Fontana.
But we're spending with Keith Shockley from the Bomb Squad. What?
From the Bomb Squad.
That was, man. I was just. That was
and this new place house.
Yeah,
this
man.
New place house.
Yeah,
man. That's
I mean,
what's up.
Surreal moment for me. But I think that the coolest thing about that is that while we are doing that, while we are embracing everybody, I'm gonna say it on air, on TV, online, right now. It's Vegas's time. It's something we're gonna be next, and I can't expect somebody to jump off from Vegas if every time they come to Vegas we're stepping aside. Or you go. I can't.
You got it fucked up, son.
Hey man, you know, and we got love, and we demonstrated. Our love for the scene. Is documented. But it's somebody from Vegas. It's their time. Maybe it ain't me and Doug. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's Bruno. Maybe it's Tino. But it's somebody from Vegas. It's their time.
And that's all that matters.
It's their
There's
time.
too many people.
Too many people out here. Good cats, good men and women out here laying it down week in, week out, grinding. We can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
You know, because there was a time when Michael was at church every day, in that chair, at that bar, in the back, and if you weren't kid tested, mother approved, you couldn't get up to DCR.
And I mean, I've seen him check DJs many nights.
Keep it sexy.
Do it, right.
Who is that cat up there?
Exactly.
I'm not feeling what he's doing.
Exactly.
Get him off, Gibbs, get back in there.
Yep. Gatekeepers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, holding
tie that shit right around.
Man, I mean, I'm telling you, man. And there was a vibe at DCR 10 years ago, and even though we're on the evolve and not the revolve, that's the energy and the vibe that we're trying to get back to. I mean, you know, Michael, he'll tell you all the time, let's keep it cocktail. And cocktail doesn't mean what it meant 10 years ago.
No.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that. And he understands and has graciously given us the opportunity to express that.
And help redefine it.
Exactly. In real time, in real terms that are relevant today.
Yeah.
Because that audience that was there 10 years ago, they're not there today.
No.
And that's fine.
Totally
because
fine.
there is another audience there. And our job as residents there is to connect with them.
Which again comes back to that word evolution.
Yep.
I mean, you got to keep your ears open. You got to look around you and see what's in front of you. Because if you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're just...
I do.
And there's a nice balance that can be struck between evolution and each one teach one. And that's what they personify. Because honestly, I mean, we all talking that evolve shit, evolution and all that, but it ain't like they ain't throwing down funk and soul.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? So just that alone.
Right. The identity and integrity is
it's
intact.
not necessarily, so when we talk about evolving, it doesn't mean Track Source Top 100.
Right. No, it doesn't. Because I think that
it doesn't.
And that's what people don't understand. I mean, but real DJs understand that. It's not the track as much as when you play the track.
Oh Lord Jesus.
And I think that and I think that, you can't have as many years as he and I have in the game combined and not know when something's gonna work or not know when something's not gonna work. You can't go in afraid to take chances. You can't go in afraid to take risks.
I feel too many people take chances.
Right, and see, we do, and there'll be some times.
It's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, and there'll be some times where Doug, hey Rob, you need a cocktail? You
good?
You good?
I need to help loose
you. You say, hey Doug, you need a Coke?
But I think that the other thing that we have between the two of us is that there's an open line of communication.
You gotta have
and if Doug is saying that Rob, I don't want to have to wrap you up, but I might have to wrap you up, then I got to fall on my sword and let this dude do his thing.
Well, that's so much different than when I ask Roy when I'm opening, because I always have a problem opening. I in my head and I say, "Hey Roy, how's it going?" He goes, "I just love to see you struggle." That's such a different.
He's motivated. He's motivated. That's
right. That's just a different style.
He's telling you to man up.
But I didn't say it was bad. I could tell. He was struggling. And I
gave him his chest, son.
And don't get me wrong, I was embellishing a bit. He wasn't like, sweating bullets. Like he had it. It was just a heat check. That's all.
But I think that was just
that was our way of just being on the same page.
That's right.
Correct. Because if he sucked, he wouldn't have had to ask.
Correct.
Exactly.
And there's some things that Doug is really strong at that I'm not so strong at. There's some stuff I'm really strong at that he's not so strong at.
That's a good part of being a team.
And
knowing that.
For me, it's liquor content. I'm very strong in that.
What'd you say?
And I'm extraordinarily weak at liquor content. I'm the guy holding the Shirley Temple.
Speaking of which,
I'm holding diesel fuel.
Speaking of which, can we close this out, kind sir?
I was hoping you were thinking.
We're gonna close this out, kind sir. Not only do I want to thank you guys for spending your time with us, I want to thank these guys for having us here at their spot and the One Stop DJ Shop.
Anytime.
I want to thank these guys for their contributions throughout the years, as well as right now in this this day right now. What they do for the scene, what they do as men, because I know them personally. I mean, obviously I'm biased, and while we setting this last thing up right here, what you guys got coming up next?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we got the front down at the SLS, the hotel. Every Wednesday from 5 to 11. They'll do all old school R&B, funk, soul, you name it. Everything from Barry White to Johnny Guitar Watson and in between.
And do you want to announce the edition that we're having on First Friday?
I have to now.
So, First Friday.
Yeah.
You seen, for those who were there last Friday, you've seen her, Christina Lacus, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, our Sheila E. of the group.
Yeah.
She's joining us on First Friday along with Casey.
Yeah.
So It's going to be a double barrel shotgun between those two playing percussion with Unfiltered Soul. And again, as I stated before, we play mostly like a unit, where we're not burying them in the soundtrack, or
you're gonna know
they're just there to try to make us look good. We are showcasing them. We put them out in front, and the crowd loves it. I mean,
Yeah.
the crowd around them, they dance, they put their solos on. I mean, you know,
Movement.
Casey does his encore every week, gets a round of applause, and then,
Absolutely.
you know, bam, we're back, you know, the music comes right back in. So
AKA they play together.
Yes.
we play together.
Yes, yes.
And so that's always a good look. So Christina came by last Friday,
Yeah, that's how it is.
and you know, just jumped on the set impromptu. I was like,
Did it.
man, this
Beat the
chick is
box.
fierce.
Yeah.
She's fierce. And so we reached out to her, and so she'll be joining us every first Friday. If you're not there, you missed it. That's all I have to say.
So make sure to do something about that.
Do
Be
something
sure to
about
come down to DCR and every Friday. And be sure to go to Unfiltered Soul page.
Oh, look at
That
you.
way you know when they're streaming live and when they're doing something
Oh, we're still
extracurricular. Thank you guys for joining us.
See you second Sunday.
Jumped ahead of myself.
And yeah, I'll see you guys second Sunday at Tacos and Beer.
There it is.
And thank you for tuning in. Roy Evans in the house, Las Vegas.
We don't rally Soulsupplement Records and others.
And thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Doug W, Robert Lund, Unfiltered Soul,
Bruno.
Brown.